good morning, Pak Tambun. I'm Digang, your lawyer for today. So as I can see, you wanted a compensation of 3.5 million for the contamination of Belum Highland Composting Yard.
Yes.
Done by Super Fresh Vegetable Corporation. So I just want to report to you that we have prepared a letter of demand last month actually. And also you have also given us the final report by Sungai Teluk Orang Asli Corporation to the Ministry of Agriculture Malaysia.
Yes.
This report, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Belum Highland on the contamination of Belum Highland Composter Yard. Elaborate more today before we meet with them.
Okay. My name is Tambun Agang. So I'm representing the people of Orang Asli from Belum Highlands. So what I want for this mediation is that we want the 3.5 million compensation to be paid, at least 3.5 million. If we can get more, then I think it will be good for us lah. Okay, because why we want the 3.5 million, at least 3.5 million, is because that land has been badly affected by the chemical leakage from the super fresh companies. So since this has been badly affected, so when we want to farm another vegetable, it will be not the same as before this. So I think for this mediation, I think 3.5 million is the minimum compensation that we should get for this matter to be resolved. I think. I hope that this mediation will allow us to get those compensation which can cover our losses of the land, because that land is from our ancestor. So we have been taking care of from many years until this incident happens. I think that is our firm decision, which is to get the 3.5 million compensation at least.
Okay, I thank you, Pak Tambun. I understand your concern. So, are you ready to meet with the rest of the party?
Yes, of course, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Hi, Mr. Raj.
Good morning, John. What have brought you to me?
I'm actually in trouble right now.
Trouble? What problem you have?
Actually, our company Super Fresh received a letter of demand from this Orang Asli Corporations.
Letter of demand? What letter of demand is this?
Yes, the letter of demand that through a lawyer issued LD, then requested 3.5 million from us, you know.
3.5 million? What is it for?
Yes, 3.5 million. They allege that because our company actually own a 4 acres fertigation system vegetable farm.
Okay.
So they allege that there is a leakage of fertigation system tank that's situated exactly beside of this Orang Asli composter yard. So the leakage, they allege that has resulted the AB liquid fertilizer from the tank seep into the soil of the Orang Asli composter yard. So now they demand this 3.5 million from us.
I see. You seem very troubled by this. Now, is there any proposal that you would like to bring to them or they are bringing to you, Mr. John?
So far, our company has decided not to pay because there is no proof at all. The problem is from us. You see, they just demand this 3.5 million, but didn't mention that, didn't even enclose the documentary proof that that problem is from us. Never.
I see. You seem to need to have, now what are they looking at? They want you to litigate or mediate the matter, Mr. John?
So far, actually, we has been invited by them to go for mediation. which our company also agree on that. But then I also wish to know that any other cause of action that I can sue them or whatever before we because we are not sure whether the mediation can successfully go through or not.
Now you seem to need to have the need to go for the mediation. Now that you're in a mediation, we need to give the other party the right of fair share or equal to hear their proposal. Now in any event, if the mediation fail, you can go to court. Now correct me that you're saying that they're suing you for 3.5 million, am I right?
Yes, correct.
Now for 3.5 million, my legal fees will be estimated at 1 million ringgit. So that is my legal fee if we are litigating the matter. And based on what you are telling me, that they have no proof of any that things that they are allegation, all of their allegations are baseless. So we are going to sue for 1 million ringgit. What else would you like to request from this, Mr. John?
I would like to request for the damages. Maybe if let's say we go to litigations. And then I would like to know roughly how much I can get it if the matter go for litigation.
I see. Now that you have raised this up, all of this is dependent on how much award that the court will grant us. In any event, should we just listen to what the other party has to say and then only we decide from there?
All right, no problem. But then I have one issue that I wish to raise is that the problem is not from us because we suspect that there is a defect design from this the tent provided or designed by this Fatty Berhad. So that is the I think our point to argue on that also lah.
Yes. And you seem very troubled by this. Let's go meet the other parties and see what proposals that they have. We should come back later. Let's go meet the other parties.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. See you, John.
See you.
Good morning, Lucy.
Hi, good morning, Miss On.
I'm on here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Shall we pick it up from yesterday? But before we begin, just would like to let you know that throughout our conversation, I'll be taking down some notes. So the notes will be between you and me. It will be private and confidential, and whatever information that you have informed to me will also be private and confidential. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, if you don't understand any of my questions throughout this whole conversation or meeting, please do let me know. I will rephrase it or ask you or repeat the question again, okay?
Okay, shall I start?
All right, sure, thanks.
Okay, so I'm Lucy.
Okay.
I'm the CEO of a company, okay, named as Fatty Berhad.
Okay.
Okay, so we are one of the very famous company in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay, known as an expert of fertigation system farming in Malaysia.
Okay.
Okay, so background of our company is we are currently appointed as main contractor by Agriculture Ministry to design and construct national farming fertigation system project in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, and Putrajaya.
All right. Okay.
So the total cost of the project amounts RM 50 million.
Okay.
Okay, so the problem arises recently, okay, where one of the project situated at Belum Highland.
Okay.
Okay. There was a complaint lodged by the orang asli there, saying that there's a problem regarding the leakage of fertigation system. Okay, situated exactly beside the composter yard. Okay, so as a result, okay, the leakage happened there, and then it settled into the soil of orang asli composter yard. That's the problem.
I see. Okay, so just to let you know, just to recap it, Lucy, you are the CEO of the company known for Tech Berhad. So throughout this whole conversation, it will be known as Verti. Your company is an expert in mitigation, especially in the farming industry. Currently, there are many projects, and one of the projects is known as the NFF project, which is situated in Selangor, KL, Putrajaya, and the cost of this project is 50 million. The problem that has arisen in this project is that there is a leakage that has happened in the Orang Asli settlement. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Okay. So I will take it. I will take this information and inform it to the other side if necessary, and see how we can take it from there. Okay.
Okay, sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
Can I add more? One last important point.
Sure. Can. I can't hear you, Lucy.
Okay. Another important point is one of the industry player, which is Super Fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Allege us that we are the cause of the problem. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we won't admit at any juncture to their claims. Okay, because our engineer has conducted and our investigator has investigated the situation, and it's not from us. Okay, that's all.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
May I know which one of you is Pak Tambun?
Yeah, I'm Pak Tambun.
Hi. All right, Pak Tambun. Who you have with you here today?
So I'm brought my lawyer, Digang, to for this matter lah.
Hello, Digang.
Hi, Digang. Nice to meet you. Okay, my name is Taufik, and I have with me Pavithra. Both of us will be the mediators for the mediation session today.
Okay.
Okay, I like to mention here, this is not the mediation session yet, but rather the pre-mediation meeting between the disputant and the mediators.
Okay.
I thank to Pak Tambun for initiating and requesting for this mediation. Okay. I trust you, Pak Tambun, have signed the agreement to mediate your dispute, and since you are representing a group of people of yours, could you please confirm that you are authorized to make decision on the spot during the mediation session later? Otherwise, we will not be able to make to continue with the mediation, because if you cannot make any decision on behalf of your group today, we might not be able to conclude any agreement between the disputants at the end of the mediation session later. And this will lead to another mediation appointment, and definitely will defeat the fundamental purpose of you coming here today for mediation.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to inform that I'm authorized by my group of people to represent for these mediations lah.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I like to inform that this mediation is confidential in nature, including this pre-mediation meeting. Yeah. Whatever we'll be discussing here, Pavithra or me myself would not repeat them during the joint session later or at any other point of time outside the mediation session. Whatever you think that need to be mentioned during the joint session, you yourself need to bring that up to the rest of the participants. Understood so far?
Okay.
All right. Should you see Pavithra or I making any notes during any of the sessions, be sure that the notes will be destroyed the moment we leave the mediation session. Okay. I have mentioned earlier that this is not a mediation session yet.
Yes.
But just a pre-mediation meeting. However, would you so kindly let us know the concern of yours which bring you here for mediation?
Okay. Let me explain slow one by one. Okay. Basically, we group of people, orang asli people, we own land of a vegetable land, about 4.5 acre of land. So the size of the land lah. So our land is besides the land that owned by this company, this capitalist company, which is namely as a Super Fresh. Okay. Okay. The issue arose is that when the NGO found that there is a chemical leakage from the Super Fresh container, which affect badly to our farm. So our vegetable all has been affected badly because of this leakage. So because of this incident, I have been we collectively find a lawyer to issue a LOD, a letter of demand, and also we also file for the report for a report to the Ministry of Agriculture to report this matter. So for the letter of demand, it's because that our land has been affected badly. We want to demand about compensation. Of course, if there is anything losses, we must claim for the compensations for about 3.5 million. So I think that is the minimum that we want. Because why? Because the land has been badly affected. So it means that if let's say if they have clear out all the chemical, let's say if the super fresh already clear out all the chemical, the land is still not the same as before. So that's why we claim for the 3.5 million. So our intention is clear, is that we want to claim for the compensation about at least 3.5 million. Because for your information, that land is from our ancestor. We have been taking care for a long time until this incident happens. So we are quite disappointed how the Super Fresh managed this kind of problem. They just like putting blame on. It's just like they just careless about the property. The equipment that they have. So they should they should have a proper care and caution about their equipment. And I think that's it lah. I think so.
Okay. Can you explain further about what is happening to your land or what damage that had been done to you or your crops or your vegetables that make you think 3.5 million is sufficient?
Okay, like I have just told you before. There is the chemical leakage. So the chemical leakage is not something like a physical damage. It's not like a physical. It does not only cause physical damage, but it's also caused a soil damage, which is badly affected our vegetable farm. So as you know that that land is for the vegetable. So the soil is the most important thing. So, for example, I give you an example. If let's say in a situation where there is someone bulldozing to our farm or what, so it just only affect the plant. But this one is a chemical leakage, which is the effect the soil, the nature of the soil, which is we cannot after they clear. Let's say if the Super Fresh want to clear already clear the chemical, we cannot plant the vegetable as before the incident happened, because there might be that the vegetable will not grow. It's because the soil has been affected by the chemical, because the soil already absorb those kind of chemical for a long time. So I think that's why we need 3.5 million, and we are firm with our decision that 3.5 million is the least amount that the Super Fresh should pay to us, because this is not only a physical damage also happened that happened, but it also happened to the soil damage, because we plant our vegetable over there. I think that's it lah.
All right. From your narrative earlier, what do you think is the strength or weaknesses of your case today?
Okay, my strength of the case is that they know that this is a chemical leakage, and also I already planted the vegetable. So my strength is that fault is entirely from the that Super Fresh from the company lah, Super Fresh. So they cannot deny their they cannot deny their involvement or what, something like that. I think that is my strength case, because it's proven constructively that the whole incident is caused by their company. I think that is my strength of the case, because, and this is also because why, and the same time also because the NGO also has already taken the sample, and the sample already went to the lab. So and then it's proven that my soil has been affected badly by this chemical compound. So for the witnesses, I think I'm afraid that they are unable to pay for us about the 3.5 million, which is in our decision, we still want to the 3.5 based on the facts, based on the fact, because this is our ancestors' lands. We have been taking care for a long time, and yeah, disappointed lah why and this matter is happened. I think.
All right. You seems to very disappointed for what happening to your land currently.
Yes.
And I understand what you have been through. However, since we are already in the mediation stage, why not keep our mind clear and listen to any available option later during the joint session, okay? And you may then, if the given by every parties are acceptable or not, because if you are not willing to listen, you might end up to bring this matter further to court, and definitely you will incur more cost and wasting more time. Okay. All right then. Thank you for sharing the information earlier. I'll see you again during the joint session later. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. It seems like you guys realize that you have been invited to this mediation session, right? So this is just a pre-mediation meeting. Before that, may I know which one of you is John?
I'm John from Super Fresh.
All right, John. Who you have with you here today?
My lawyer, Mr. Raj.
Hello, hi, I'm Mr. Raj, lawyer for Super Fresh Chor.
Hi, Mr. Raj. Nice. My name is Taufik, and I have with me Pavithra. Both of us will be the mediators for the session today. Okay, I like to mention here, this is just a mediation. This is not a mediation session yet, but rather the pre-mediation meeting between the disputant and the mediators only. I trust John have signed the agreement to mediate your dispute, and since you are representing a group of people of yours, your company, could you please confirm that you are authorized to make decision on the spot during the mediation session later? Otherwise, we will not be able to continue with the mediation, because if you cannot make any decision on behalf of your company today, we might not be able to conclude any agreement between the disputant at the end of the mediation session later. And this definitely will lead to another mediation appointment, and confirm will defeat the fundamental purpose of you coming here for the mediation.
Yes, I confirm that I have been authorized to make the decisions for my company.
All right, thank you. I'd like to inform that this mediation is confidential in nature, including this pre-mediation meeting. So whatever we'll be discussing here, Pavithra or me myself would not repeat them during the joint session later or at any other point of time outside the mediation session. Whatever do you think that you need to, whatever you think that need to be mentioned during the joint session later, you yourself need to bring that up to the rest of the participants. All right, understand so far?
Yes, understood.
All right. Should you see Pavithra or I making any notes during any of the sessions, be sure that the notes will be destroyed the moment we leave the mediation session. I have mentioned earlier that this is not a mediation session yet, and just a pre-mediation meeting. However, would you so kindly let us know your concern which bring you here for mediation?
Okay, actually my company Super Fresh received a letter of demand from Sungai Teruk Orang Asli Corporations. They demanded us to pay 3.5 million for the compensation, because they alleged that our company owned a fertigation system vegetable farm, which there's a leakage on the fertigation system tank. So the fertigation system tank is actually situated exactly beside the composter yard of Orang Asli Corporation. So they say that the leakage resulted the AB liquid fertilizer from the tank seep into the soil of Orang Asli composter yard. So why they requested this 3.5 million from our company.
All right. All right. From your narrative earlier, what do you see as the strength or any weaknesses in your opinion for your case today?
Okay. Actually, we are a well-known company and also a reliable producer of a fresh vegetable. We did provide this fresh vegetable to international like China. So we are a reliable company. So there is no proof from them that the problems caused this leakage is from our side.
Okay.
So we also suspected that there is a defective design of the tent, which we bought it from another company. We call it known as vegetable hut. So from our point, since we are the well-known company in this industry for 30 years, so I think without any proof provided by them, produced by them, it is baseless for them to allege that the leakage due to our problems and demand this 3.5 million is totally baseless. There is no proof they made the loss of 3.5 million.
Before you guys come to, before you guys agree to come for a mediation, did the Orang Asli organization ever comes to you and speak about this?
They never. I think what I heard is they already announced to the public. So right now our reputation is actually affected by them. And my company, because of this announcement made by them to the public, so our business affected, especially during this CMCO. People were normally buying the fresh vegetable from us, but due to this news, our reputation has been tarnished. So we also made a loss because of this. So as a CEO of the company, I'm really unhappy with their action.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. You seems to be heavily impacted by the allegation made by the Orang Asli organization. I understand what you have been through. However, why not keep our mind clear and listen to any available option letter during the joint session? You may then evaluate whether the option on the table is acceptable or not. Because if you are not willing to listen, you might end up to bring this matter further to court, and you may incur more costs and wasting more time. All right then. Thank you for sharing the information earlier. I'll see you again during the joint session letter. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Good morning. May I know which one of you is Lucy?
Okay. Hi, I'm Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. All right. Who you have with you here today?
I'm bringing my lawyer, Miss
Hi.
On.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Pleasure to meet you guys.
Hi. Yeah, you too, Mr. Raj. Nice. My name is Taufik and I have with me Pavithra. Both of us will be the mediators for the mediation session today. Okay. I'd like to mention here, this is not the mediation session yet, but rather the pre-mediation meeting between the disputant and the mediators. I trust you, Lucy, have signed the agreement to mediate your dispute, and since you are representing a group of people of yours, I mean your company, could you please confirm that you are authorized to make decision on the spot during the mediation session later? Otherwise, we will not be able to continue with this mediation, because if you cannot make any decision on behalf of your company, today we will not be able to conclude any agreement between the disputant at the end of the mediation session. This will lead to another mediation appointment and definitely will defeat the fundamental purpose of you coming here today for mediation.
Okay, understood. I'm the one who has been given mandate an authorized person on behalf of Perti Tech Berhad.
All right, that's great. Thank you. I'd like to inform that this mediation is confidential in nature, including this pre-mediation meeting. Whatever we'll be discussing here, Pavithra or me myself will not repeat them during the joint session or at any other point of time outside the mediation session. Whatever you think that need to be mentioned during the joint session, you yourself need to bring that up to the rest of the participants. All right, understood so far?
Yes, very clear.
Yes.
Mediator.
Good. Should you see Pavithra or I making any notes during any of the sessions, be sure that the notes will be destroyed the moment we leave this mediation session. Okay. I've mentioned earlier that this is not a mediation session yet, but just a pre-mediation meeting. However, would you so kindly let us know the concern of yours which bring you here for mediation?
Okay, our biggest concern, okay, because there was a report by few people, especially the Orang Asli and also Super Fresh company, okay, regarding Belum Highland, which is planted with various types of vegetable using compost materials.
Okay.
Okay. We received allegations saying that we are the one who caused the land which leakage resulted in the AB liquid fertilizer from the tank to seep and settle into the soil of Orang Asli's composter yard.
All right.
Okay, so we at any point of time we deny any allegations towards us, okay, and then we believe that we are not the one who caused of the leakage.
All right.
So far, that's for now.
Okay. All right. From your narrative earlier, what do you see the strength or any weaknesses of your case today?
The strength is we are the one bidding of the AB liquid fertilizer tank, okay, and then we know inside out of the technology of the compositions, okay, how to set up the materials, and then we have many experience before this. We are not new in this industry because we are known as an expert of fertigation system farming in Malaysia. Okay, this is our strength. Okay.
And do you see any weaknesses to your case if this is being brought to court for settlement?
We believe that the weaknesses is not very apparent. Okay.
All right.
Because there are few parties involved in this situation. Of course, there is Orang Asli who do the farming area at the highland. Okay, and then also there's Super Fresh,
okay,
which also produce the fresh vegetables in that area as well. So their contribution might be higher and most probably higher than us because we already take our precautions from the beginning. All
right. Before any one of you agreed to come to this mediation, have you sit together and discussed this among yourself?
What do you mean among ourselves?
Between Perti and then the Orang Asli. Is there any?
No, we never met anywhere before, and then this is the first session we are intending to meet.
All right.
Yeah.
I understand what you have been through. However, why not keep our mind clear and listen to any available option later during the joint session? You may then evaluate whether the option on the table given by everyone is acceptable or not. because if you are not willing to listen, you might end up to bring this matter further to court, and you may incur more cost and wasting more time, regardless whether you win the case or you lose the case. All right then. Thank you for sharing the information here.
It depends on their offer. Okay, if it's reasonable and good for us,
right,
we will look into it. Okay.
Sure. That's why I mentioned just keep our mind clear and listen to the option going to given by them. So I'll see you again during the session later. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today in this mediation session, and congratulations to each and every one of you here to agreeing to this mediation session. Okay, I've seen all of you beforehand during the mediation meeting and have informed all of you that this mediation session is a confidential session. Hence, if you think you want to say something, please do so, provided it's being spoken during your time to speak lah. Please do remember to not interrupt when another person is speaking, including the mediators. I'm also asking each and every one of you for your cooperation to make this mediation session is a successful one, and please avoid making any unnecessary disruption. We try not to make this session to be a very formal one, and we should try our best to have this in a casual setting. So if any one of you think you need a break or something, do tell us and we will try to accommodate to your request. Okay. I've also informed during the pre-mediation meeting that Pavithra and I are the mediators for the mediation session today. So now I want to let all of you know that we, the mediators, will not make any decision on behalf of you. Neither we will take any side. Okay. We are here merely to assist all of you to reach a win-win agreement for all parties on a natural capacity. All right. To the lawyers present here, I wish to remind all of you to let your client steer this session and avoid making any statement on behalf of your client. However, should your client require you to give any legal advice during the discussion later, you may do so to your client only. In this joint session, we shall have each and every party to let us know what makes them to be here, what are they seeking, and what is their expectation at the end of this mediation session. Okay, I've been informed by each and every one of you here during the pre-mediation meeting that all of you have the authority to make a decision on behalf of your group here during the mediation. So shall we aim to have everyone to be able to come to an agreement to settle at the end of this session? Right. We have three parties coming here today. We have Pak Tambun, the Orang Asli leader and the president of Sungai Teluk Orang Asli Corporation. We have John, the CEO of Superfresh, and we have Lucy, the CEO of Ferti. So can we have Pak Tambun first to share with us what makes him coming here representing the Orang Asli, what Pak Tambun and his community is seeking, and what is the expectation of Pak Tambun and his community at the end of the session. Pak Tambun? Pak Tambun?
Okay, sorry. Okay, hello. Okay, my name is Tambun Anggang, and together with me today is my lawyer, Anak Digang. Okay. I representing my group Orang Asli from the Belum Highland and also the Kampung Teluk. So actually, the facts. I will explain the facts of the case. Is that we, the Orang Asli, own the land, the vegetable farm land, for about 4.5 acres, and then the issue arose is that when the NGO has found that our soil has been contaminated by the chemical leakage from the Superfresh container. So, as in, it's because of this incident, our soil has been badly affected. Okay, and this is proven constructively that this chemical came from the super fresh land and super fresh equipments. So to resolve this issue, I on behalf of my people, we would like to seek for 3.5 million as a compensation. 3.5 million as a compensation from super fresh for this for resolve this matter. So, and for your information, we have been already issued a letter of demand, and also we already filed a report to the we've issued a letter of demand to get the compensation for about 3.5 million, and also we already filed a report to the Ministry of Agriculture for this matter. Okay, so why we want for 3.5 million? So there are lots of reasons why we want for 3.5 million. Okay, first of all, we are orang asli. So our source of income is that we are selling the vegetables. So we plant our vegetables in our land, and then after it has been developed, so we sell it to the people. So it's because of this incident, our people cannot sell it. Because why? Again, because for example, if for the land for the plant that has been planted, that's still in the land, we cannot sell it because it has been contaminated. So 3.5 million actually is actually suitable for us. More than that is that I would like to say that okay, the reparation of the soil. Okay, I have to explain to all of the parties in this mediation, say that this is not only affect the physical damage of the land. Okay, it's only affect the soil damage of the land. It means what? It means that okay, for example, I'll give you an example. If you like bulldozing the land, okay, if you like bulldozing the land, so it's only affect the land only, okay? But this is because of the chemical contamination from the super fresh equipment, okay? So it means that it affect the soil. It also have a soil damage. It means that we cannot plant after this. If let's say super fresh has cleared the land, has cleared the chemical, we cannot plant the vegetable as before we plant this because that's not same anymore. That's why we claim for 3.5 million, where you have to note that the reparation of the land, it takes 4 years. So it takes 4 years, and also we have to call the expertise of the soil to study on the land how to revive the soil of the land. So it takes cost for us. And for example, like what I have just told to you just now is that our main source of income is actually for selling the vegetable from this land. So as you know that this land, this reparation, it takes 4 years. How my people going to survive for many years? So if we get for 3.5, at least 3.5 million, so my people will use this money for sustain their life. So because our main source of income is actually from this. So since our land has been contaminated by the chemical leakage, so we should demand for higher compensation, at least for 3.5 million. So I mean this 3.5 million, it could be mean a lot to my people. So they can sustain for their life along the way that the land has been repaired, and then we can use this money to call expertise to revive this land and how to make this soil is effective, because this land has been contaminated. It's not just only merely being affected physically, but it's just already affected entirely. The nature of the land it's not the same anymore. So that's why we want 3.5 million. And we have our NGO, non-government organization, backup for this matter. So we have this NGO also the one who assists us that this land has been contaminated by this chemical from super fresh. So I think the whole situation is for this mediation is that we want the compensation at least 3.5 million from super fresh. So this is constructively shows that the fault of this incident is caused by the super fresh, by the capitalist, namely as a super fresh company. So I'm sorry. So actually 3.5 million is the least amount that we should get. Why? What the reason is that I already told to you. That is the reason that I told to you. I think that's it.
All right, Pak Tambun. Understand on that point, but have you ever think any lower sum if they cannot afford to pay you 3.5 million, or any other remedies that you want to ask from them if they cannot pay whatever you ask right now?
For the right timing, I think 3.5 million is the suitable remedy, because what I have just told to you, it cut lots of costs for us to call the expertise to revive the land back, because that way the main incident of this case is that our land has been contaminated by the chemical. It's just not only by a merely physical damage. So I think 3.5 million is the suitable amount for us lah. At least 3.5 million.
All right, Pak Tambun, we acknowledge your points. Okay. But can we have now John to share his side of story to us? What makes him coming here representing Superfresh, and what John and his company is seeking, and what is the expectation of John and his company at the end of the session. John, can we have you now?
Yes. Okay. My name is John from Superfresh Vegetables Corporation. I'm the CEO. Today, as alleged by the Orang Asli, Pak Tambun, they demand us to pay 3.5 million due to the our fertigation system vegetable, the chemical seep into the soil of Orang Asli composter yard, which we strongly deny on that. And our position is that their allegation is baseless, because they just issue the letter of demand without produce any proof at all. There is no any report by the expert or any investigation has been conducted. So far, as far as we concerned, we did not receive any report from them. Even there is any report, we have never seen at all. So our company is actually truly affected by the allegation made by them. Okay. Because right now, during this MCO period, our sales also affected. And in addition to that, because of this allegation, our business even dropped. So by demanding this 3.5 million, that amount is really exorbitant. It's a huge amount, you know. Like our company, okay, annual income right now not even can reach this 3.5 million. Do you think that we're able to pay this 3.5? In addition to that, we do not think that that is our fault, because you see, we are the honest and also reliable producer. We are actually a well-known company in international level. We export the fresh vegetable to China, and we gain a lot of awards. If I may show you, Mediator, these are the awards that we got it from the international bodies and organizations.
Can you sorry John, can you put a little bit front to the camera?
These all are the certificate. Sorry, maybe I changed my background.
All right.
Because John, it's not so clear.
John, bayar sajalah. Just pay 3.5 million, nothing to you.
No, of course, that is not my fault. Why I need to pay?
Big company.
Lucy, as I've mentioned earlier,
let me finish first. Cannot
do not interrupt. Okay, John, please proceed.
Okay, these are the certificate that we got it from the international organization that recognize that we are actually a well-known company in this industry for an average about 30 years. So we would not doing things, simply doing things, and if that problem is from us, of course we will admit that. But right now, we need the investigation report. We need to do the proper investigation before they blame us. So I don't think that problem from us, because as you know, we using this authentication system. We bought it from this 30 tech Berhad. So we suspect that the leakage due to the defect design and the construction.
This is nonsense.
No,
you
let me finish
just
first.
point at me.
Finish first.
Our company is very good.
Please.
It's possible.
Please. Okay, please, all parties, please, give. We will give ample time for all parties to talk.
Point moderator. He.
No.
John
Please.
accused us. This is not
Please.
good.
You see, please.
This is not accused. Later you have a chance to talk, lah.
Please, everyone. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. John, please proceed.
So we suspect that there is a defect design carried out by this 30 tech Berhad. So before they claim this 3.5 million, I think we need a proper investigation report from them. And in addition to that, there is no any proof that they have made a loss 3.5 million. You see, we have to ask the Tambun to produce their monthly sales report. They can simply say, oh, I made the loss 3.5 million, even 5 million, or even more. In court, right, we should show this all documentary evidence. By simply saying that they made a loss 3.5 million, that is impossible for us to pay. And now my company is affected by their allegation. So we really made a loss. Even now, there is no order from our existing client anymore because of these issues. So if that continuing blaming us that we are actually if they continue blaming us that we cause incidents, which I think is unfair to us lah. So our company position is really clear. We will not pay any single cent. So that is our.
I think it's nonsense lah, because your land is besides to our land, and then the chemical contaminated has been tested in the lab, not in our lab, in the science lab. So science cannot lie. So I think it's actually you don't need a proper investigation. It's clearly from your side that makes the contaminated.
The lab is citing on your side.
John,
we need an independent investigator. No, cannot.
But Tambun, John,
I totally disagree with you.
All right. I believe that we already listened to Pak Tambun and John, where from that story, I believe none of you dispute that the land has been damaged, right? The land has been damaged, and there's Pak Tambun and orang asli community has suffered losses and damages from that particular incident. So now I'm asking you, John, because you will keep saying that there's no report and everything from Pak Tambun to be furnished to you to justify the amount his community and him asking from you the 3.5 million. You see, if Pak Tambun and his community to go back to any kind of to have any kind of report, it will definitely, we will not be finishing this mediation with a win-win agreement that I mentioned earlier. So let's say because the fact that you basically don't argue that the land has been damaged, do you think that you can offer any compensation to Pak Tambun and his community, or maybe at a lower rate than compared to whatever he asked from you?
As far as I'm concerned, the problem not for us, because we my company insisted that, okay, that problem because of the defect design. So the problem and the fault is not from us, due to the defect designed by the architect perhaps. So we will not pay anything. We will not pay anything right now.
All right, sure. Okay. We've listened to you, Pak Tambun, and we have listened to John. Pak Tambun is saying that your land has been damaged. That's fine. I mean, that's not fine. I mean, the fact has been established. And from whatever we listened to John, the damage was caused by the defect of the equipment from John's land. Okay. But John is saying that the defect comes from the design made by Ferti. So can we have Lucy as the CEO of Ferti explain her position and whatever she asking at the end of and her expectation at the end of the session? Okay, can we have Lucy, please?
Yes, here. First of all, I'm very upset with John's statement, okay? Because I've known him for such a long time because we are in the same industry. John, you better watch out after this, okay? Okay,
please polite to me, okay? Please polite to me.
Come on,
guys.
How are you?
Please.
We try to have a very harmony conversation. Please don't nitpicking and please don't name calling any of the participant. And what I want you guys to do now is explaining your position and let us understand what you're asking and what your expectation. Okay, please proceed. Lucy.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, John. Okay, don't feel intimidated.
I feel so.
Life as usual. Okay. So the problem is, okay, we Ferti deny any defective design and construction of every liquid fertilizer tank. Okay, because at the first place we are we call it as well known first, and then second we are the best expert of fertilization system farming in Malaysia. We have been doing this all the time for the past 20 years. Okay, and now just recently, because we are listing our share in second board of KL Bursa, we know that some of the company, which I think our rivals, including John company, okay, maybe they want to attack us on this basis. So I think this is unsubstantiated claim against us. Okay, and then we not admit any allegations towards us. And then we are not going to pay whatever compensation or whatever claims, because we know from the beginning it's all because of John's company, which is Super Fresh.
Hey, please, because we got this tent from you. You should give us warranty on the defect, right?
Okay, John, please. I've mentioned earlier, please do not interrupt when another person is speaking. And we try to have a harmonious conversation here. Okay, Lucy, proceed.
Yeah, just relax, John. Let me finish this. Okay. And then another thing, we have appointed our counsel to discuss on this matter. If this mediation fail, or this mediation cannot be carried on, or to make it crystallize into any fair agreement to us. Okay, that's all from us.
When you say about fair agreement, what is your expectation to be in that fair agreement?
The fair agreement, at least for sure, Super Fresh must pay more rather than us, the portion. Okay,
it's a product from you, not from me. The defective product you provide to me. How can?
Hey, can you just listen to me first? Okay, because we have our time.
All right, Lucy, I just want to ask, in your expertise as the inventor of the equipment, other than the design defect that makes the equipment leakage, do you think that any other aspect that could lead to that leakage?
Okay, we have done our investigations, and our investigator reported that we anticipated that the leakage is due to landslide because of farming activities in that area. Okay, because when the movement of land supporting the base of the tank occurs, the tank may crack and leakage may happen. Okay, so that's our main finding, which is support our case. Okay. So we put the blame on Super Fresh. You are the one who should be
Please, Lucy, please do not put any blame yet at this moment. We just want to find what is the cause and whatever agreement that you can reach on. If you're putting blame to each other, this is not going to work. Okay. Understand your position, and we have listened to everyone. I mean, Pak Tambun, John, Lucy. It seems like you guys don't really agree to budge from whatever position you are currently at, and Pak Tambun still asking for 3.5.
Yes,
Lucy,
we are asking for 3.5. If not, we will report to Ministry of Agriculture. I think both of your company will be suffered.
Apalah Pak Tambun, boleh kau tim
okay,
no,
Pak Tambun, please.
Trying to threaten us, you know.
Okay, John, we have listened to you, and we have listened to Pak Tambun and Lucy. And based on Lucy's explanation, the leakage could probably be because of the landslide due to farming activities, and it could be from your land because of farming activities. It could be from Pak Tambun land because of the farming activities. Could be, I say could be, not necessarily be yours. Okay, and just now, Lucy seems like to agree to pay something for compensation. Okay, can I suggest each and every one of you, we go to a private caucus, you and your lawyers together with the mediators, discuss whatever possible or any alternative you might think of to be put on table for further discussion later. Is it all right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Lawyer be ready.
All right. Okay, we can go now.
All right. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
All right.
Hello, Pak Tambun and
Hi.
Digang. Yes, thank you. Okay, since we have already moved from the joint session, now we are coming to the caucus section.
Okay.
So from the first initial joint session, Pak Tambun, I sense that you have a lot of emotions going on.
Yes,
So
yes.
perhaps you want to further explain on your position for us to understand more about your position.
Okay, basically, why I'm so why I'm a little bit emotion just now is that because that land is our main source of income. So, and that we only have that land only. So how we are going to survive if that land has been contaminated? So that's why I'm a little bit emotional. So that's why we firm in that mediation we are firm that 3.5 is the least amount. Okay, but then I saw lots of blaming from the parties. So what I want, the position of my people is that we want land. That land can generate to our source of income. That's it. That's how we are going to start. We are not consist of lawyers, doctor or what. Our main source of income is from that land. We are selling the vegetables from that land. So how we are going to sustain our life if that land has been contaminated? So we need expertise to revive back our land. So we need someone to revive back our land lah, because that is our main source of income. That's why I'm a little bit emotional. So I need the parties to give the compensation, or might be some land, I think, for us to cultivate the new crops and the new crops. because that is our main concern lah. Our main concern is that it's our source of income. That's it.
I understand.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I understand your what you have gone through. So, but let's see from other perspective.
Okay.
So in a what if situation, right?
Okay.
So in these situations, okay, what can you in case of situation whereby the other parties cannot meet with your demand?
Okay.
Do you have anything that, I mean, what is the alternative that you able to, accept?
Okay. I think I have an alternative. Okay, if let's say the other parties is not able to pay the 3.5 million, I think all they can give is a new land to us, because they are big corporation, because new land for us, because we just want the land, for us to cultivate and for us to generate our income. That's it lah. So okay, I think that is the first one. Okay, and for the compensation, I think we, on behalf of my people, I think that 3.5 million, if they are able to give the land, I think that 3.5 million can be lowered to, I think, to around 2 million for us, because as you know now, if we still need also the compensation, because why? Because even though if they are able to give the land to us, we still also need the capital, and also we need to incur some costs. For let's say they give land to us, so the cost for cultivate the new land, it can be recovered by the compensation that they have given to us lah. But that compensation can be lower lah, something like that. And
so the land that you are talking about, okay, sorry, you have other
okay, the last one is that, okay, if let's say if they are able to give the land to us, the contaminated land, I want them to plant some tree. Why I want like that? Because it's that, first of all, because since the land has been contaminated by the chemical, so one of the way to revive back is that by planting some trees. So might be that when they planting some trees on that land, so it might be revive back the land, our land, something like that. I think that's it lah. That is my alternative lah. Okay, I will reiterate back. First, I think they can give the land, any land around the area for us. I think they are big corporation. Of course, they have another plot of land, okay, to us to cultivate, and then the compensation can be lowered around 2 million. 2 million is actually for us to focus for us. Okay, actually sorry, for the 2 million actually 1 million is actually for paying my people, because even though if they give the land to us, we still need to pay to them, because this is not how to say, this is not manufacturing of technological equipment or what. This is about cultivation of the vegetable, so it takes time. So how are my people going to survive during those time, if they during those time? So I think compensation still need. And another 1 million is actually for our cost lah, for cultivate new land lah, for the clearing out all the land, the fertilizer, and also the irrigation system, a new irrigation system on the new land lah, I think. And the last one, of course, I want them to plant the tree lah, to revive back the land, and also of course for their reputation, because now their reputation has been badly damaged because of this of their act. Might be that if they plant this, if they replant any trees, their reputation has been regained. I think that is my opinion.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. Let me
yeah.
that again. So what you want now is that in alternative of
that
purely compensation of
okay,
you want a new land.
Yes.
So this new land is given in how do you say, in perpetuity, or if you want it, I say just in the meantime that the land is being repaired or restored.
Of course, in perpetuity lah. Perpetuity.
You want in perpetuity.
Yeah, because the land has been, I mean, the existing land has been badly affected. I think, in my opinion, also, if we call the expert also, the land, I think the land has been affected because it has been affected by the chemical. So of course lah, the new land must be in perpetuity, not for lease or what, must be perpetuity lah. Yeah, I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
we wish. Yeah. Okay, go.
new land, then you will be able, would be able to seek a lower compensation.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
So, can I give a suggestion? I think might be that 1 million from each company. That's it lah.
1
So,
million for each company.
1 million for each company, not from the supervisor only lah. Since, yeah.
Okay. We'll see what can we negotiate with both parties. So there is a new land, 3.5 million is lowered to 2 million, which will be segregated into two parties.
Okay.
1 million each, and then the land that is currently contaminated, you want it to be planted with trees.
Yes,
So
yes.
this land would still belongs to your people.
Oh, of course lah.
I see. Okay. Okay. Let's say if things, I mean, worst case scenario, it didn't work out. I mean, you didn't get your 3.5, and also you didn't get the compensation that you had, the alternative compensation. So, what would you think that happened for you?
May I speak on behalf of Pak Tambun, Madam Mediator?
Sure.
Okay. The fact that it's because of Superfresh and Ferti's negligence that caused the damage to the Orang Asli's land, I believe they at least should compensate Pak Tambun and his community. So money is at stake here. It's okay, we don't have 3.5 million, or it's okay. But at least enough money for the Orang Asli community to have some income for the time being while a new land, a new plot of land be cultivated. Okay, I guess this request is more feasible rather than just simply asking 3.5 million. And the fact that we already have a final report which is going to be submitted to the Ministry of Agriculture, and it's not simply a report which is plucked from the sky, because we already have lab tests being done. It's okay, the fact that it's done by the NGO, because we don't have any other source to look for to do such tests, you see. And then
okay.
As for a new plot, it would be great if Superfresh and Ferti can cooperate to get a new plot which is equal to the size of the land damage.
Okay. We'll try to, we'll let you go to Pak Tambun and Pak Tambun to mediate in the second joint section later.
And then as for the damaged land, as reparation can only be done through replanting jungle trees, I guess that would be a good initiative for Superfresh and Ferti to regain their name back, because after all, providing a good and sustainable ecosystem should be a good cause for them. After all, Superfresh has also been, their reputation has been damaged because of this issue currently. So perhaps we can put on the table that, they might want to replant the land with trees. because nothing can be done with the damaged land other than planting trees, because we can't keep the land empty, because it will further cause landslides. Who knows, right? Because after all, the farming will still be going on there, be it from us, the Orang Asli community, or even Super Fresh. I believe Super Fresh will still continue be farming around that area. So I guess planting of trees should also be part of the activity for them.
Okay. We'll take note of that. So, okay. Let us help hold our caucus with the rest of the parties.
Okay.
So we will call you back again for the joint session.
All right. Thank you. See you.
Thank
See you.
John.
Hi.
Hi. Yes.
Hi, John. So
hi.
you have heard about the proposal earlier. What do you feel about their proposal?
But Tambun, they insist us to pay 3.5 million. I'm actually really cannot pay for it because the amount is really too huge, and our company right now also suffer loss. So 3.5 million definitely cannot.
Okay, John, I sense that you are having very much disappointment and upset about this situation. So, but bear in mind that we are in a caucus session, so
All right.
you can tell us any further information that you want to let us know. And at this juncture, I would say that if you have any other alternative, in case of that you are not able, not able to pay 3.5. So what is the alternative that you can bring to the table?
What in our mind is that our position is we only willing to pay 1 million. Okay, of course that would not be admission to the liability on the leakage part due to our fault, which we totally disagree. Just out of sympathy, we were willing to pay 1 million ringgit for the compensations. Of course, provided that the other side can also share some of the compensation as well.
Yes, as John's lawyer, I cannot help but to note that Pak Tambun and Ferdi, they are very keen to say that my client is at fault and it has tarnished my client's reputation by this. Now, the only good part about settling it at mediation is that John will just settle it here and he doesn't need to bring it further. But then again, I think my client has a bit to say about the fact that the landslide and the act of God.
Yes, because as mentioned by Ferdi's representative, that the leakage of the tank is not due to the defect design, but based on their investigation, they say that it's due to the landslide, which is the act of God. It's totally out of our control. We can't control the landslide happen. So I think we cannot bear all the costs by our own company. So the allegations of Pak Tambun saying that due to our company fault, which is totally baseless. So we can't pay that kind of 3.5 million amount. It's too high. Yeah.
Understand. So apart from this 1 million compensation, anything else that you think that you can, I mean, for all parties can consider? So.
Okay. Maybe I think since Ferdi is actually currently got the project from this governments for the National Farming Verification System project, I would like to propose that we can joint venture for this project, so we can actually reach a win-win situation. So that's why we can also gain some profit for this project if they're willing to joint venture with us. so can also reduce the loss suffered by us as well.
I see. This is for the future project. Okay?
Just worst come to worst, I would like to seek my lawyer advice. If really can't reach a settlement, what actions, course of action that we can take against the Orang Asli?
Yes, the best consideration that you have is that we can actually sue them for defamation, and we can just fight through this. We don't have to settle it at mediation at all. Don't worry, you still have the option. And but in terms of damages, it will be dependent to the court. It will be determined by case law as to how they will review and how badly Superfresh business and reputation is affected. In the case of Dato Tan's case by the Berjaya Times Square, he managed to sue and he actually got a compensation of 1 million ringgit. And I know that you sound very troubled by this, and I really know that you want this nightmare to end. But do you think you have any other solution to resolve this?
Of course, if we can go through this mediation, I'm willing to settle it out of court. I want to know how, if really we can't settle, how much is the cost that I need to pay for you for the engagement?
My legal fees will for 3.5 million will be estimated at 1 million ringgit.
1 million? That's a lot. Can you? Yes.
I think that's why if we can opt for mediation, that would be the best. Okay, so I hear you. I hear what you can offer at the table. So let me engage another talking session with other parties. Then after that, we'll go on another joint mediation.
Right. Pavithra, Miss Pavithra, can I also request one request on the settlement terms? As you know, now the tent has already leakage, maybe due to the landslide. So I also wanted to request that the Ferti Tech Corporation, Ferti Tech perhaps need to pay the cost for the reparation of the tent. This is also one of the term of the settlement.
I see. So to repair or replace, whichever that.
Yeah, I think repair would be reasonable since we has been using this tent for few years, and then one of the reason why I request for that is because they did give us a warranty on the product, so I think it's reasonable for them to repair and bear for the cost for reparations or rectification.
Okay, so let me repeat that again. Okay, for the between your side and also the Orang Asli side, you are willing to offer 1 million compensation, right? And then to Ferti, you want Ferti to repair the tank that belongs to your side, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And yes.
For my client to be appointed in the joint venture.
Your client to be appointed in the joint venture.
Yes. Ferti.
Okay. So for the Ferti, there are 2 items here. All right. So we'll have another joint mediation session, so which we will be calling you.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Pavithra. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, on.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining for this focus session again. All right. I've sent from Lucy's side that I can sense that there's a lot of dissatisfaction or disappointment. So perhaps Lucy, do you want to further explain on this matter, on these issues, and what's your thought about this?
Okay, before that, one mediator and chief mediator, can I know what's the status of this session? Is it going to be revealed later?
We are not going to reveal this to the parties. Just that in the joint mediation session later, then it's for the parties, disputing parties to reveal. We as a mediator, we will not reveal anything on this private conference.
Okay, understood. So this is considered as confidential, eh?
Yes, it's a confidential.
Okay, so the problem is, okay, when I refer to our joint session earlier, okay, we not at any point of time doesn't agree with super fresh allegation against us. Okay.
Okay.
Because we already left this stage, which means we have not involved at any construction or any development of the area. We left it to the super fresh and orang asli. We have no more in picture at that place. Okay, so why suddenly they want to pinpoint to us and then saying that this is all our fault? I'm not agree with that.
Okay, I understand. I understand that you are feeling upset on this matter, but let's take a step back and reflect on the situation in what if position. Okay, what's the alternative? Because if all parties disputing at each other, so it will not tackle anything. So let's see from your position, and what is situation. Okay. What would be the alternative that you feel that party can offer to the table?
I just want Super Fresh to cover and take all the blame. We don't want to discuss further on because I think it's coming from them. Okay.
So, other considerations that you think that you would offer, that you can offer to them?
Okay. Since Super Fresh is in the same business with us, how about we both of us compromise on each other? Okay, and then we look from whatever options available, which they will offer to us, and then we can hear and consider what is good for both of us.
So yes.
Sorry, Pavithra, for interjecting. Would it be better? I mean, this is merely a suggestion. Would it be better that we have a joint caucus with John and his lawyer side, with which is Super Fresh side, and let's see what we can deliberate from there. Would that be better?
Yes, I think we can do that. Let me get Super Fresh and Super Fresh sites to join in.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Pavithra.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Lucy. Okay. Since
Hi.
Lucy had requested for a joint session with you, John, to discuss something on these matters. So, Lucy, would you like to start this?
Yes, I would like to thank you, John, for coming this session. Okay, because I, on behalf of the Tech Berhad, we would like to settle this issue amicably. Okay, that is our position.
All
okay,
right.
What I'm going to do now is I on behalf of the Perti Tech Berhad will offer to you some offers which you may consider, okay, to make it happen, and then for parties to move forward. Okay, first, we are proposing that about the damages, we can share whatever the amounts which we can persuade about Tambun. Okay, so I'm not giving you the specific amounts, but whatever amounts which will come later, we will divide by 2, if that's okay. Okay. Secondly, I'm proposing that whatever plan, whatever strategy you have made so far, which is going to report to whatever ministerial department, you may consider to withdraw the plan to lodge any report against us. Okay, and then thirdly, we are looking for long-term relationship with you as one of our partners in for a long time, because I've been knowing you for a long time, John. Okay, we are coming from the same university, and then luckily we are in the same field of practice. So to maintain that situation, I would like to suggest to make an offer to you that whatever opportunity coming for any project, okay, I will inform you, and you will come and join us to submit your tender on this on any business coming soon. Is that okay with you?
Okay. Before I promise the term that proposed by you, I also would like to propose my position, my company position on the term of the settlement. See whether both parties can compromise or not. Okay. The first thing is about the damages demanded by Pak Tambun, orang asli. So our position is because currently our company is actually making the loss during this MCO period, and also because of these allegations, we have lost a lot of business from the international. So our company willing to pay the amount is only 1 million ringgit without admission to the liability. I understand that you're willing to share the cost for the damages requested by Pak Tambun, but why not we can propose them to the lower sum, which can pay by us, like 1 million from us, another 1 million from you. I know that you do not have any specific amount, but this is my counter proposal. Maybe can propose to Pak Tambun. So secondly, is because as you're aware that our company fertilizer tank actually got the leakage problem. So I would like to seek for the repair cost for this tanks to be borne by your company, because based on our previous contract ended between the parties, there's a warranty given by your company. So this is my second request for the settlement term. And the third is due to the, I think, our long-term relationship that we would like to maintain. So why not I propose any future project that granted by the government to you. For example, the National Farming Fertigation System project that currently your has been awarded by the Selangor state governments. So we would like to be part of your joint venture partner to carry out this project. So about the share, we may discuss later how much share we want for this project. So these are the three settlement proposal from our side.
Okay, I'm listening to your offer. Okay, but I want to point out something. Okay, since we are dealing with government, okay, it's difficult for us for direct appointment for you to be the subcon. Okay, we don't want to be in court with any corruption whatsoever letter report against us. So I cannot guarantee you to give you any project, but we will inform you whatever project coming soon, and you may submit your tender or your proposal to us for us to consider, and then to make it a deal if there is a deal. Okay, I want to make it clear because I don't want to be caught, my company to be caught as chronism whatsoever by SPRM later on or MSCC. Okay, so second issue is legal.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
Okay, so another thing about the repair, we would like to look and peruse whatever the independent report saying, is it coming from us or is it coming from the other side? If there is coming from us, okay, and then we will look back into the agreement we signed earlier, and then we will abide by that agreement during our agreeable for the installation of the tank. Is it clear with you?
Yes, I'm clear. Just that one point that during the joint session you have mentioned, because the problem maybe due to the landslide, which also without out of our control, actually is an act of God. So for our position is we would not bear any cost for the reparation right now, but of course it is also subject to the further investigation carried out by an independent investigator. I agree with your proposal on this, but always need to find out the reason. If really due to the act of God, then I don't think it is fair for our company to bear all the costs.
Okay.
Okay. Because yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'll take it from here. I see that both of your side, John and Lucy, you are agreeable to have some reports from the appointed independent who can do the research on this on the land, right? Just to investigate what actually happened, what cost is, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So with this offer, can I seek to meet and discuss with my lawyer, because I think whatever missing point which we will address to you, as for now it is for me. Okay, but I need to consult my lawyer on this as well, because we are appointed our lawyer.
Okay, sure. So we will invite all of you in the second mediation session in a short while, so you can consult your lawyer independently at this moment. Right?
Thank you. All right. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hi, John.
Hi, Raj.
So you have heard of the proposal from Lucy and his lawyer earlier. What do you feel about it? Should we go through it one by one?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so earlier Lucy proposed to you that they want to share out the amount of damages, the liability, and divide it into two. What do you feel about it?
Okay, I feel that if divided by two, like let's say 3.5 million, I still have to pay 1.75 million. That is also a lot of money. So for this term, for the settlement, I'm still remain as a 1 million is the maximum amount that I could bear.
Okay, so you are saying that 1 million ringgit will be your maximum that you are willing to pay, yeah?
Yes, in terms of taking into consideration of the losses that suffered by my company during this period, so 1 million would be the maximum.
Okay, on the second part where you agreed with Lucy and their lawyer, whereby they commented, they say that the repair or the leakage will only be done upon the receipt of the
investigation.
Yes, report. Are we still keen about waiting the report and then see where it goes? What do you feel about it?
Yes, of course. I don't mind to wait for the investigation report to come out first. If let's say the report show that the leakage is due to the landslide problem caused to the leakage of the tank, then I would propose that maybe each party can share half the cost of the reparations.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to raise in terms of any of this?
There is one term of settlement that just now Fetty proposed to me, is to withdraw the complaint to this agriculture ministry on the complaints, which I think that this one is not complaint. The complaint is not lodged by me, but it is actually lodged by Orang Asli. So maybe we can bring out this issue during the joint sessions.
Right. I think you should raise this issue that the person who should be withdrawing the action would be the Orang Asli. There is another part where when we requested that you would like to maintain the long relationship and you wanted the joint venture, and the other Lucy and On was not able to, they are willing to consider, but you still have to tender. I think that will be agreeable by you, is it?
Yeah, that is a fair request. I think everything has to go through by tender, but if any information regarding to the project, they can inform us, then we can prepare in advance on our proposal, then we can tender the project through the public.
You sound very caring, John, and you sound very understanding to me, John. Is there anything else you would like to ask before we join them for the caucus, the joint session?
I would like to know what are the benefits of me to proceed with the mediations instead of going to the litigations in court.
Okay, John. Now, the perks of the fact that what happens at the end of this mediation is that all of y'all will enter into a wise agreement that there will be the terms and condition that is agreeable by the parties. Like, for example, what are your terms? And it will definitely save your time and cost because you actually settle the matter amicably and are able to settle it soon. That is the perks of it, John.
Okay. Will you able to help me to draft the term and conditions of the settlement agreements?
Yes. I will be sure to take down your notes and your points of whatever notes that you want, and we will put it in the wise agreement.
Would that cost 1 million?
Oh no, definitely no. That will be definitely lesser.
Right.
But we should just join them for the discussion, and then we will put forward our terms. Yeah.
Yes, no problem. Please.
Thank you, John. See you in a while.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Okay, so just now when we were having the joint caucus session with John and his lawyer, along with the mediators, John has offered 3 things, which is damages up to 1 million without admission of liability. Just for a recap, okay? Let's see how we can take it from there, okay? And then fertilizer, then leakage problem for Ferti to pay the leakage cost. Because Ferti is the one who provided the warranty. That's according to what John is saying. And the final one is to appoint Superfresh as any of your as your contractors in your future projects with the government. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I still remember.
All right. So, Lucy, what do you think about the offer?
I think that's the best Ferti Tech Berhad can offer to them. Okay.
The best?
Yeah, that's the best. Yes, the best.
Okay. What do you mean by the best?
Which means that that's what we can offer and what we can deliver to them. Because beyond that point, okay, we cannot concede to any offer or commitment towards them.
You seem to have suggested that there was an offer made.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your offer then?
Our offer, okay, just we're willing to share whatever the costs, but must be divided by 2 to make it fair.
Okay, need to share the whatever cost is it?
Yes. Okay.
What do you think is the appropriate amount?
The appropriate amount is depends on what how much Pak Tambun wants. Okay. If they want 3.5 million, okay, that means we need to negotiate. Of course, we need to negotiate and we must reduce to as the minimum as we can. And then the amount will be shared.
You seem to have suggested to share the amount.
Yeah.
How would you like to share this amount?
Okay. Maybe on that juncture we can share whatever the cost which has been agreed later, if there is any agreement on this amount.
Sorry, Lucy, I can't hear you very well.
Okay, so if there is confirm on the amount and also on the value which damages which has been agreed offered by Pak Tambun later, okay, that cost will be shared between us and Superfresh. Okay, maybe we can make it by 3 times payment, or by stages. depends on our situation now.
Okay, so you seem to have suggested to pay the cost by way of installment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe on that settlement we can discuss further, but on the main important thing is by stages.
Stages.
Yeah.
So you seem to have suggested to pay by way of installment, yeah? Okay, so that will be on the point of damages. Okay. You have also, during the caucus session, have also offered another two proposals.
Yes.
And you have said whatever strategy you have, your offer was
to withdraw the report against us.
Okay, what report?
Okay, so we have been made understand by Super Fresh that Super Fresh inform us that orang asli will submit report to Agriculture Ministry. Okay, so on that basis, we are afraid that this will cause harm to us, especially with the projects ongoing and coming soon, which will awarded to us. So we may to consider Super Fresh to convince Pak Tambun, okay, to withdraw whatever any reports if there is have been lodged towards us against us.
You seem to have suggested that there was a report that is detrimental to Ferdi. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your position is to ask or to request Super Fresh to withdraw the said report.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And the third offer that you have made just now.
Okay. The last offer is we will inform Super Fresh if there is an open tender for them to submit to us. We will not make a direct appointment. Okay, this will be dangerous to us.
Okay. Open tender?
Open tender, which means we will inform them that any application to apply for any subcon or to joint venture, they will be informed. They will be one of the parties earliest to be informed. Okay.
Informed?
Yeah, informed in the sense that before we advertise to public, okay, we will make them know that we are intending to looking for any subcon or partners in business.
You seem to have suggested for your final offer, the number 3, is to provide them a head start.
Yes, sure.
A head start.
Yes. Yes,
All
that's
right.
correct.
Okay, just to recap and just to make sure that we are on the same page, the first offer is to pay whatever cost, is to share whatever cost that is the Pak Tambun is seeking by way of installment.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is to convince Super Fresh to withdraw the report.
Yes.
And number 3 is to have an open tender in an effort to sustain this relationship with Super Fresh. You would give them a head start about Fenty's future projects, so that they will be able to apply for it.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
What do you think? Okay, before we proceed further, how about let's see. What do you think the strengths of your case are?
On our part, okay, we see that Super Fresh is the one who are responsible. Okay, we're talking about the situation. Okay, but since we are looking for amicable settlement for mediation purpose, okay, we are willing to listen to them with any opportunity to settle this issue. Okay.
Okay, I understand what your position is. What do you think your weaknesses of your case?
My weakness is that we are bound by the warranty. We still have 1 year to go.
Okay.
That's the problem. So 1 year is still binding between we, which is Super Fresh, and Perti Tech Berhad. That's the weakness which I can see.
Okay. What about I was made to understand about your shares that you are willing. Your Fenty is actually wanting to be public listed about your shares.
Yes, this is also our company's main concerns as for now, because it will affect us in the shares in second board of KL Bursa. Okay, with any complaints against us, that will jeopardize our plan, our strategy.
Okay.
It's also our weakness, yeah.
Okay, so the report will affect your reputation.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What do you think about the damages?
The damages.
Sorry. Before I proceed, wait. Give me a moment. Just to make you understand. Okay. So far you have stated to me the strength for your matter is Super Fresh is the one that is supposed to be liable. As for the weakness, it will be the report and the warranty. The report is detrimental against Fenty. So how can we, if this report is not withdrawn, what will you be able to provide or be able to offer to ensure that the report is withdrawn because it's part of your witnesses? What is your, apart from, what will you be able to give an alternative to Super Fresh? How will you be able to convince them?
I think on the part of reparation or restoration of defective design.
Okay, and how are you going to be able to deal with the restoration of design?
We will send our engineer, okay, and we will look into this matter, whether we can repair or we can reconstruct again whatever the defective at the design and construction.
All right, so which means now you are also, are you telling, is it correct for me to say that Fenty is actually willing and it's open to restoration of the design that has been...
Yes, if it's proven.
Okay, if it's proven. And how do you expect this to be proven, Lucy?
By having an independent report. Okay, we need to find what's the cause and which part of the destruction caused all of this problem.
Okay, I understand, Lucy, that you require an independent report, but today we are here for mediation purposes. How would you be able to deal with it in the event the report is not there?
If that's so, because if there is no report done, okay, we back to square one. We go back to the agreement, okay, where there's warranty issue.
Okay, so which means you're not willing to have the restoration if there's no report. But today we're in a mediation, and I don't think there will be a report anyways. So are you telling me that restoration is out of your consideration?
Yeah, could be. What do you think, my lawyer?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I believe so far from the strengths and weaknesses, I believe two issues are your weakness, which is the warranty, because as Super Fresh being your independent contractor, you have provided a warranty, so it's still within the warranty period, which you very well know. With regards to the report, because I believe based on whatever information that you have given, your biggest concern is the reputation, because Fenty is wanting to list their shares. So these are the two things that you have to consider. In the event if restoration, in the event this mediation goes south and parties do not agree, what do you think that's going to happen? The matter is going to be brought to litigation. And you have to also, as Fenty, you have to also think about the report being a hindrance, because as you know, this piece of information is very detrimental to your company. I'm not asking you to try and settle it for the sake of it, but please consider these things as we are now in a mediation, and whatever that we are speaking here in mediation will be kept confidential. So these are the things that you should consider.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Right.
So before we conclude, just to recap one more time, you're willing to share costs with Superfresh by way of installment, to ask Superfresh to withdraw the report, as well as you're willing to give them a heads up in regards to any projects that you have as an open tender.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are also open to restorations if the matter is proven.
Yes, sure.
Okay. I believe that's all, Lucy, and let's see how we can go on for it. Okay.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Jap. Okay, dah.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So,
Hi.
on behalf of Taufik and myself, I would like to thank you very much for making the time to join the second mediation session. So this session is after we have completed all the caucus, all the parties. So in this second mediation session, I would like to invite Pak Tambun to speak first and inform us what his issues and his proposal. Tambun, over to you.
Okay, hi everybody. Since we already this is the second joint session, so I have already discussed with the mediator and also discussed with my lawyer. So I know that most of you is that you are unable to, you are unable to pay 3.5 million. So therefore, I on behalf of my people, I'm ready to lower my compensation. So with certain conditions. Okay, the first condition is that because the reason why we always want the reason why we want the 3.5 million is because that our land is our main source of income. So that is the land that generate income to my people, to me, and also my people. So if the land has been affected badly, how are going my people to survive? So since the both of you is unable to pay 3.5 million, so in lowering the compensation, we are of the view that might be that both of you will find a piece of land near to the area to us, then we will cultivate on the land lah. So and then that land is in transfer in perpetuity. That is the first condition. And the second condition is that we are agree that since if you are able to give us the land, the piece of land, so we are considering for lowering the compensation. However, we still need a compensation. It's because of several factors. Okay, we are considering for 2 million. 2 million means that 1 million from Ferti, and 1 million from the super fresh. Okay, so why we want the 2 million? Okay, first of all, for the first million that we want to give to give to our people. Okay, you have to understand that we in order to cultivate, even though we have a land, we have to clear the land first, and then we have to set up a new irrigation system, and then we have to cultivate. So along the way to cultivate it, it takes time. So I think my people can use this 1 million to survive to sustain for their life along the way lah. So I think that is the first factors, and the second factors is that, and the cost for us, it also incurs for us to incur cost for us to cultivate a new land, because it's not cheap, and also it requires, like for example, like we have to set up a new irrigation system, we have to fertilize the land. So therefore we still need the money lah. So the 1 million is for the cultivation of the new land, and 1 million is for our people to sustain along the way when the vegetable has been growing up lah. And the last one is that we for the existing contaminated plant, we want both of you, is that to replant back a tree. Why we want that? Because okay, this is for you also. Okay, since super fresh and also Ferti has been badly affected, the reputation has been badly affected by this issue. Why not all of you, both of you can replant back by the trees by regain your reputation back, I think. So, and that is the first one. And second one, why we want both of you to replant back the tree is that we want the process of preparation of the soil, it takes years. So if you guys replant back a tree, so the soil might be in the future will be able to fertile back, or will be okay back. And the last one is that about this landslide. Like just now, Lucy have just told us that among the big reason the cause of the incident is because of a landslide. Yeah? So if you replant back the tree, I think this might be avoid in the future. So to recap back, my demand is that, first of all, we are agreed to lower our compensation from 3.5 million to 2 million with conditions that this corporation can transfer to us any part of their land to us where we can cultivate, because that is our main source of income. That is the first one. The second one is that we just only want 2 million from you, from Fertile and also from the Super Fresh, where 1 million, the first 1 million is using for is the money using for my people to sustain their life along the way that the new land has in cultivating it. And the second 1 million is for us to cultivate the land, which is required a certain cost lah, something like that. And the last one, we want both of the company to replant back the tree to the existing contaminated land. I think that's it for the sake of mediation. I think, and I hope that my demand is quite fair for both of you. Okay.
Thank you very much, may I have
mediator?
Yes.
Madam Pavithra, if I may add, I really hope that based on these lowered demands, it can be met by Super Fresh and Ferti, because as Super Fresh claimed earlier that we don't have our allegations were not backed by any reports or tests, but here we actually have our report done actually, you see, and it is waiting for us to send to the Ministry of Agriculture, and the NGO has we also have the NGO's support in this. So I guess before we proceed by going through submitting this report to the ministry, I guess mediation will be the best place for us to settle. So
Yes,
I really hope that we can settle with our demand here, our demand by Pak Tambun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we listen first to our Super Fresh, John.
Okay. Hi everyone. Before I hear from this Pak Tambun, we actually have discussed with my lawyer. We have three proposal terms for the settlement. Okay. For the first one, like request by Pak Tambun to reduce the compensation to 1 million, which it is within our budget, and we have already agreed to compensate 1 million for the compensations. This one I have no issues. Okay. For the second part, second term, that term and condition is that we request for the joint venture for this National Farming Verification System project in Selangor that awarded to this FERTI. So we would like to have a fair tender opportunity to get this project. Then we can actually earn the profit from this joint venture, and also to compensate us on the amount that we pay to Pak Tambun. Okay, this is our proposal on the second term. Okay, the third one is we would like to request for the cost to repair our fertilizer tank to be bear by FERTI. Okay, this one we understand that we still need to wait for the investigation report, see whether the leakage is it due to the landslide. If the report showing that it is due to the landslide, then we're willing to share half of the reparation cost, because we know that landslide is out of our control, is an act of God. So we're willing to bear half of the cost. So in regards to Pak Tambun, another terms and conditions on finding a land to replace the condemned land, which I think that that would be involve a high cost for us to replace a new land to you. Okay, I would suggest that my side, I will look for another new land. We will rent it at our own cost for 1 year. So that would be my proposal in addition to the request by Pak Tambun. So I do not know whether Pak Tambun will agree on that. And also, I also would like to hear the proposal from FERTI as well.
Thank you very much, John. Okay, Steve, have the floor.
Pak Tambun.
Yes.
Can you reduce 2 million lower than that? Please, for sake of us, which we agree to the share, but can you reduce it lower than that, please?
So how much do you are able to pay for that one? Because no, the reason why we put 1 million is actually quite fair, because 1 million is for my people. So my people also already consists of more than 20 people. Okay, and another factor is that 1 million is that the cost for the cultivation of the land, new land, is quite expensive today compared to those days. So I think this 1 million is fair. So never mind, I just asked you, what is your amount that you are able to pay?
Okay, I'm looking for the whole amount, okay, which share both offers is 1.5. Okay, so 1.5 divided by 2. So each of us will contribute half than that.
700.
Okay. Yeah, 750,000. Okay, and then if you agree with that, okay, I will ask my accountant to release the check within 3 days time. But if you insist to proceed on 2 million claims, that means I think we need to negotiate on how the payment will be made, because I don't think a company will be able to pay 1 million now.
Okay. Okay, can I interrupt? So if let's say how about the land? Because as you know that our main concern is actually also about the land. How about the land? Are you guys able to find, can you cooperate with Super Coffee to find a land for us? Because just now, like Super Coffee said to us, said that they said it's high cost for them to find to replace the land. But yeah, even though we have the money, but if we don't have the land, if let's say if we don't have the land, then how are we going to make a profit? And then if let's say, you have to understand, I'm representing my people. I'm not voicing out in my own opinion. So what if in the future my people dissatisfied? They said, oh, even though they already got their compensation, but they dissatisfied. Say that. So since the land has been contaminated, they cannot planting it anymore. So and then they don't have any land. So how is it? And most of them are not rich. They are not able to find a land for themselves. Yeah. How
Okay.
about you? Yeah.
Because I think the one who very good at this is John. Okay, because John very good for looking for new business whatsoever. John, what about you? What you say about this?
Okay, I was just I will try to find a new land, but just for the temporary like to rent it from the owner for 1 year, because you said that the reparation process to replant the tree, all that need to take 1 year. So I would offer you to rent a new land just for you to temporarily to have the income for this farming vegetable, to carry out the vegetable farm, so you could able to have your source of income, so for only 1 year. And I would like to say that propose that maybe for the renter we could share together between Super Fresh and also Fatih.
I'm okay with that, but the task for looking for the land, can I give it to you and then you just let me know what's the amount which you can share from there?
Yes. Same, but with the condition that if let's say Anwar can consider on the reduce of the amount, like just now you proposed, I say 150, one person is 750,000, right? Then if but Tambun can reduce on that, then we can use that money to rent a new land for them to carry out their vegetable farm business.
Yes, this is the most brilliant idea coming from you, John. Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. How about you, Pak Tambun?
What will happen after a year?
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but Tambun has internet connection, so can we wait for him for a while?
Sure.
Yeah, I hope he don't use pawang whatsoever in our meeting. Okay. Pak Tambun. Mediator.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think the success of our mediation process?
I think if everybody is willing to give and take, I think it should be okay. Just that on the amount lah. Maybe Pak Tambun will see what he thinks about that, because I think on the amount of the compensation, we might have some issues. Yes, Pak Tambun is back.
Oh, you are here, Pak Tambun.
Yeah.
Back already.
I'm sorry for the technical problem. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think okay, I have another opinion. Why not that land has been leased to us for 99 years? Yeah.
Mas Pak Tambun.
Just now I'm requesting for.
Sudah bagi tanah Pak Tambun. John.
For this land leased to you for 99 years, we have to get it from government. It's quite difficult, actually, like right now. Yeah.
Yes, that's possible.
Yeah. Because after 1 year, you still after 1 year after we replant the tree, then you can recover the land already, right? So the land will back to the normal condition. You still can use that land. So if we lease it to find another new land to you for 99 years, there will be a lot of cost from us, actually. We need to pay to the government also. Yeah.
Okay, how about we talk about the realistic, Pak Tambun. Okay, please pity us. We have employees to pay, salary to pay. Please lah, Pak Tambun.
Will you consider that, please?
Okay. Okay, like this. I think okay, for the instant recommendation, it's about the rent. Can we extend for more than 5 years? Because I mean, yeah, I agree with you. We cannot lease. I mean, we know the procedure for the lease, but for the rent, I'm agree with you. Can you extend it for another 5 years? Because you said 1 year.
You cannot do this, Pak Tambun. You said 1 year, Pak Tambun. Now 5 years.
No, wait. You have to understand that because the reparation need more than 1 year, and also we need also to find. We also need to find the expertise about this matter. Say that whether this land can be revived or not, because we might never know. This is for in case in the future. So is it okay and said for more than 5 years?
I'm John. My name is John.
John.
Your second name is John Anson. I know.
Oh yes. Okay. So
yeah.
5 years to me is a bit longer. So I would propose maybe 1 + 1. Is it okay? 1 + 1.
How about 4 years?
No. Okay. Perhaps we can come in between.
Yeah. Because
also 5 say you are requesting for 5 years, you put up a proposal of 1.1, 1 + 1. So perhaps we can come in between of that, so that every parties can have an amicable solution to this.
Okay.
1.5.
What do you 0.5?
Yes.
1 year and a half.
1 year and a half.
1 + 6 months. 1 year + 6 months, is it? Yes.
But just now I offer 1 + 1. Pak Tambun also don't want. Now you reduce 1.5. I don't think he want, right? I don't know.
Maybe he changed his position. Pak Tambun, have a deep thought. You are representing your people. Don't let your anger control you.
yeah, I'm not let my anger control you, but I'm afraid that one of my people dissatisfied with your. Now you have to think for yourself. What if one of my people suddenly they brought this issue by themselves? I mean by themselves. I don't want that incident to be happen. Okay, I'm agree with you to rent me, but can you make it more longer? Because you have to think in future. I know that you guys are not able to pay for the compensation, but this is for you have to think in future. If let's say one of my people dissatisfied, because you have to understand, each individual have their own emotion and they have their own thought. So we don't want this kind of to be happen. So because I'm representing my people, this is not me. I'm just representing my people. So what if one day my people dissatisfied with your composition, and then they say that, oh, the land has been only rented for more than but not more than 1 year, and then they brought this issue to the court, and then you guys, your name also have to be to be suffered, and then you have to go back again, and then that's why I said to you, and then I have thought it for a long time. So I'm agree with how to say what is your name? I forgot. John with the John suggestion say that okay, you can rank us, but can you rank it more around 4 years? I limit to 4 years or 3 years, because you have to understand, because I mean you can make an agreement. I mean
Okay. How about this?
Okay.
How about this in return? If I agree with that, if
Okay.
John agree with that, how about you withdraw whatsoever intention you want to report to ministry whatsoever against us, especially against me, not us, which means Super Fresh against me, because I think that one should not be included in our settlement, if there is settlement
Just
today.
now you have mentioned that I have lodged a report. Actually, I think Orang Asli has lodged a report, right? The report is not lodged by me, but I got the information that Orang Asli has lodged the report.
Yes.
So,
Just withdraw it. Can you confirm it?
Of course, we will have to withdraw it lah. If let's say, okay, like this, okay, this is my final proposal. Okay, I hope you hear it properly. Okay, I will lower my compensation from to 1.5 million. Okay, and which is 750,000 from you, and also from sorry, from Super Fresh, and also from Fertile. Okay, and the third and the second one is that that you have agreed to us to rent the land, any portion of your land, to us for about 4 years. Okay, and the last one is about also you have, I mean, of course you have to agree to replant back the tree. I think that is fair for you, because I want to hear it properly, because I don't want one of my people will again lodge another report, because they are not dissatisfied. If let's say if you want to lower your expectation, then I'm afraid that they will dissatisfied with your, I mean, with the compensation and with the resolvement. I mean, with this matter, they will file the case by themselves. So I just want to avoid this kind of situation happen. I think that is my final proposal. That's it. I cannot be lower than that. I mean, I cannot lower than
Okay,
that.
Pak Tambun. Okay, Pak Tambun, we understand that. Okay. What about Pak Tambun's offer to John and Lucy?
Okay.
Okay, let me repeat what Pak Tambun had proposed. 1.5 million settlement. To rent a land for 4 years for these people to cultivate and to work on land, and then for a replant of the trees to the land uncontaminated. May I have your view?
I'm listening. Yes, that's good.
Okay. I think the proposal I am able to accept it. But with one condition for the rent, right? 2+2. That one, if let's say he already recovered the land back to the normal structure, and then we can terminate the tenancy of the land. So
the options here, you mean +2, the options to,
if let's say after 2 years or 1 year they already recover back the land, then they can use back the land, then we can actually anytime terminate the tenancy agreement of the land.
Yes, fair enough.
Okay, Pak Tambun, what about
are you happy?
No, I mean, for the 2+2, if they say after 2 years is still cannot recover, so I can use it for another 2 years, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
my lawyer, where is my lawyer? Can you look at the agreement?
Yes,
okay,
lawyer.
All right. Okay.
Later you look, check the agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask my lawyer to advise me further if let's say the agreement on the tenancy, also the term of the settlement?
Always at your service, Mr. John.
All right. So I think we have a settlement.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this session. So I'll wrap up all this request. Now, 1.5 million settlement is to be divided between Super Fresh and Ferty, and then Super Fresh and Ferty together will pay for the rent of alternative land for Pak Tambun and his people, and then on the replant of the trees, the existing contaminated land, just to make sure it's recovered. And the terms is actually 2+2. So in order, if let's say after 2 years, the land, the Pak Tambun's people's land already recovered, then it will end there. But if not, then it will continue for another 2 years. There is an option.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, mediator.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. See you.
See you guys.
Safe?
Stop.